Hello everyone, I am Shyam Banka and I'll be presenting this case study interview today. This case study interview is divided into two parts. In the first part, I'll be presenting line by line how a case study interview goes by, and also I'll be analyzing the interview as it goes along. The second part, I'll provide the entire structure of how the case study interview was at an entirety and also how it was structured. So let's begin. So today we are doing a case study called Slippery Business. Uh, let's see how it goes. Your client is a shop owner near a temple. Recently, he's facing a sharp decline in profit. You have been hired as a consultant to identify the reasons and give recommendations. Okay, sounds like a pretty expensive job the shop owner is trying to do. I would like to ask a few clarifying questions. Okay, yeah. So first of all, this first line is also the most important part of a case study interview, where initial information is presented to you. So we know that he's a shop owner. Our client is a shop owner. It's present near the temple, and he is facing a decline, sh sharp decline in profits, not just decline. So something has gone terribly wrong that his profits are declining very fast, and we have to find out the reason and give recommendations. That's that's all we have to do in this case study. I would like to ask a few clarifying questions, as I would like to understand more about a client before I begin to analyze the case. At what type of location is the temple located? Is it a tourist place? How long has our client been in business? So you have to figure out that how long it's been doing the business, and uh, then what actually changed in recent time that if he's facing a sharp decline. And the temple of location. Okay, yeah. So usually temples are a tourist spot location, or if not a tourist spot, the footfall near temple is usually very high. But it's a good question to clarify your assumption whether this is actually a tourist spot or a famous location or not. The temple is a small tourist place located in a village. Our client has been in the business for the last 7 years. Okay. Okay, so as it is a tourist place, I can assume that there are few competitors in the locality as well. So what are the products sold by a client and the competitors? Exactly. So you have to understand the client about what exactly the client is doing. So the initial set of questions will be more on understanding the clients and the competition around it. Yes, there are competitors present, and the products sold by the competitors are the same as ours. Also, what is the price band of our competitors, and how long has the client been facing a decline in profits? Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty standard. The products sold are of two categories. The first one is an individual item, and the second is an combo in a basket. A client has competitive pricing but is facing a decline in profits from the last 2 months. Okay, everything looks pretty fine right now. Do all the competitors face the same problem, or is it specific to a client? Also, could you please elaborate more on the combos sold by a client? The problem is specific to a client only, and the combos sold are as follows. Oh yeah, so in this, I think it was pretty clear above. Oh, yeah, it was not clear that it is a client specific problem. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's the candidate is trying to understand, is it something the client is doing wrong, or is it just a market situation which is where everyone and every competitor is also facing a decline? But it's not the case. Our client has is the only one who's facing such an issue. So yeah, let's understand more of the client's business, of what exactly is its core offering. The problem is specific to a client only, and the combos sold are as follows. Basket 1, flour, small packet of sweets. Basket 2, flour, small packet of sweets, coconut, and a cloth. And basket 3 is rose flowers, half kg of sweet, coconut, cloth, and a diya. Thank you for the confirmation. I would like to take 30 seconds to structure the case. All right. So this is where it begins now. It's a profit and loss case. So the structure will be divided into revenue and cost, which is pretty standard, as you might be knowing if you are watching the previous videos by now. Yeah, so uh, as we know, the profit is equals to revenue minus cost. So is it the cost side problem? Like, is there an increase in the cost of raw materials, or is it a revenue side problem? The cost of the raw materials remain the same. It's a revenue side problem. So it's a good thing to ask the interview in the starting where exactly you have to focus on, unless the interview tells you specifically to analyze both the sides. Since it's a revenue side problem, revenue is equal to number of customers multiplied by the selling price. Also, there is a possibility of a problem with the product mix of the client. So, in which aspect do you want me to dive in? Uh, so, it's very important that uh, you actually think exhaustively and not just theoretically that okay, the revenue is equal to customer number of customers multiplied by selling price, but you also think what could be the other reason which can affect revenue other than this formula, and which is pretty good, which fairly done by the candidate. So there is no change in the selling price. The number of customers coming to the shop has reduced. Also, you can suggest some changes in the product mix too. Okay. So the interview is trying to tell us to focus on the number of customers have decreased to find out reasons why they have decreased, and also giving a hint that product mix can also be one of the reasons to focus on. Since the number of customers coming to the shop has reduced, there could be three possible reasons for the same. Firstly, is there any recent construction which made the shop inaccessible for the customers? Secondly, there could be some quality issues with the product. And lastly, there could be some additional changes made by the direct competitors or anything else you think I'm missing. Okay. Yeah, so it's not very structured problem you have to think on feet. So it's a good habit that you list down all the cases you can think of, and also ask the interviewer if you're going in the right direction or something you have been missing. So you have included all the possible factors. So there is no construction in the locality, so the shop is accessible to the client, to the customers. The quality of the product is the same. Yes, there is a problem with the competitors. So the interviewer has given pretty straightforward that competitors are the problem. In that case, is there any change in the price of the products, or are there any additional are there any additional services provided? For example, giving special services to senior citizens, priests, for some special worshipping of God, or service keeping footwear of the visitors. Okay. Uh, so the prices the, so the prices and products are the same as they were before, but recently they had started giving services of keeping footwear for free at the shops for the customers. In that case, is there any change in the price? In that case, is there any change in the price or the products? What? Okay, there is a typo. The last statement has been repeated here. So let's skip it. Yeah. Okay, so I have an Yeah, that problem was pretty much straightforward given in the face. So I have identified the problem. Since our competitors have started a free footwear keeping service for all the customers, the footfall has increased there, since everyone wants to keep their footwear before entering the temple. Fair enough. Now you can go with the recommendations part. The first recommendation would be our client should should keep a footwear service, can provide a footwear and water services for hand washing, can provide VIP puja thalis, basket facilities, can provide facility for VIP darshan, can provide special facilities to senior citizens like wheelchairs, TV, RT. Thank you so much for it. We can end the discussion. So recommendation is not of any much use. So the first one is the most valid one, which is guaranteed to work. The others are just a suggestions more than uh, which have no guarantee of being effective when they're implemented. So yeah, but if it feels like you just have to make some good recommendations of which is generalized to every shops which are around temple. So that's a good recommendation option. Okay, so now let's move on to the second part of the interview where we analyze the case, uh, and figure out how the case went in a structured way. So some of the case facts is Toll is running a business from the last 7 years. Temple is a small tourist located in a village. Uh, they provide basket combos and individual items, and there is a decline in the profit in the last 2 months. Recommendations were the last four recommendations mentioned in the end of the interview. What are the brownie points? Starting the discussion by understanding the demand of the supply side problem. Uh, Creative solutions to distinguish client from competitors. I mean, okay, this was pretty easy case. So you just have to think on ground of what exactly would be a situation of a shop owner or a temple, and you could figure out the solution for it. So it was nice that the candidate has covered a lot of various cases and situations of what exactly was happening to the shopkeeper. Okay, now let's see how the structure looks like. So there is profit is divided into revenue cost. We are told not to focus on cost in the starting. So in revenue, we have product mix, number of units, and selling price. This was same product mix we were told to look into, but then go there. Number of units, there's a decline from last 2 months. Competition has increased. There is no issue in accessibility, no issue in quality. Competition is increased due to additional services offered by our competition. The product and the price remain the same. The additional services, free footwear service. So our client should also offer that. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this interview, and I'll be uploading one case study interview every day, covering entire set of topics. Currently, we are covering profitability, and we'll also be moving into different topics once all the cases of this topic is over. So if you want to get into the mindset of learning case study and getting an idea of yourself having yourself put into a practice of doing a understanding one case study every day, so that you get really in the zone of how exactly a case study interview goes through, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be definitely uploading one video every day of one case study. Thank you and have a nice day.